Thank you for being here today. The situation in the United States may be spreading into Europe. So it is important to understand the mechanics of this polarization of public opinion. These are the topics we will cover today. This talk represents a study that was undertaken during the fall of 2019 and unveiled some interesting results. Modern news agencies have always considered objectivity as being of primary importance. When opinions inadvertently color the facts, the resulting information manipulation can create confusion and chaos. This study attempts to understand the language differences as expressed by the US news media in the conveyance of political opinions and to identify predictive language action cues that can differentiate writing styles of right-wing news media from those of left-wing news media on Twitter. Here's the research question that directed our investigation. Can we computationally identify a news media's political opinions based on the language in their tweets? Original tweets from news media agencies were collected and analyzed using logistic regression analysis during September 2019. The study identifies a statistical significance with regards to cognitive loads, analytical thinking, and political sentiment profiles of tweets to allow for better ways of differentiating political opinions between the news media from right-wing to left-wing. We will start by reviewing studies on sentiment analysis that are particularly focused on political opinion mining for presidential elections. Twitter provides the public with the ability to microblog their opinions, making it a good channel for predicting public opinion regarding election results. Tomasjane and Sprenger's 2010-2011 studies analyzed political tweets across 6 parties to predict the German federal election results in 2009. Both online sentiment and the offline political landscape were analyzed, concluding that Twitter can be a valid mirror of the political landscape and provide evidence for predicting the election outcome in Germany. Stiglitz and Danchen's 2012 study also studied the same German election, but their study focused on sentiment analysis expressed on Twitter. By analyzing linguistic features using LIWC, the study further discovered that the more the effective words were used on tweets, the more likely the original tweets would be retweeted. They also conducted a blog study and found out that clearly articulated sentiment would affect their readers and will likely elicit feedback. Readers tend to participate more with the emotionally charged discussions on their blogs. They also conducted a study regarding political opinions and associated posts on Facebook to identify that emotionally charged posts on Facebook will trigger more feedback and generate recurring posts. Another Twitter study on comparing both US and French presidential elections occurring in 2012 they compared the sentiment across these elections, specifically the hashtag analysis, as a type of topic modeling that prevailed before and after the presidential election. Strong connections were uncovered in the community's studies before and after the elections. This study conducted a topical modeling study to analyze Facebook posts to better understand the nature of modern online discourse. The study identified the characteristics of people who interacted with candidates during 2016 elections and was able to identify linguistic features of the associated posts, along with the phenomenon that results in political polarization. Jordan and Pennebaker's 2018 study compared online posts regarding candidates' emotional tones and authenticity. The study identified that Trump's debate language was low with regards to analytic and formal thinking, but high in negative emotional tone and authenticity. Clinton, by contrast, was high in analytic and positive emotions, but low in authenticity. It's essentially interesting to note that as Clinton-related tweets became more analytical, her poll numbers dropped, whereas Trump-related tweets became higher in positive emotion and in analytic thinking and resulted in higher subsequent polling. In order to understand political opinion as tweeted by news media agencies about the current Trump administration, our study collected data that was tweeted directly by the news media and not the retweets. A total of 831,013 tweets were collected between September 10th and 11th. Retweet data collection varied from January 30th, 2018 through September 11, 2019. As our research question focuses on news media's original tweets, retweets were not considered unless they contained the original tweets from the news media. Thus, only the original tweets remained in the final datasets. 1,344 tweets in total. This table gives an overview of the news media agencies that were included in the scope of the study. The data on central category is used as a baseline dataset for the purpose of comparing with the analyses between the right wing and the left wing. Our data is analyzed with sentiment, and then we perform a logistic regression analysis. We employed a comparative sentiment analysis study using LIWC 2015 to extract linguistic features of tweets, microblogging messages, and to categorize the news media agency's opinions. The texts were extracted and counted as word frequencies into 90 different types of psychology items using the LIWC default dictionary. Then we employed the logistic regression analysis to analyze the statistical significance of these categories across left wing and right wing. This table refers to the variables concerning the percentage of total words on cognitive loads within the extracted tweets. interesting to note that both right-wing and left-wing news media employ more cognitive loads in their tweets than news media espousing neutral opinions. Based on the z-values, the cognitive process, cause, discrepancy, and difference show statistical significance in differentiating the tweets between the right wing and the left wing. Spider graphs were used to reflect the results. Comparatively speaking, the left-wing news media use higher words of cognitive process, but less difference words than those of right-wing. This table refers to the variables concerning the percentage of total words on affective processes within the extracted tweets. Based on the z-score values, this suggests that individual affective process words are not statistically significant to differentiate news media from the right wing to the left wing. It's notable that the right wing employed less words of active processes than those of the left wing. It seems that the left wing tends to use more words of the affective process than those news media taking a neutral stand. This table refers to the variables concerning the percentage of total words on analytical thinking styles within the extracted tweets. The absolute z-value of article and verb are greater than 1.96. P-value is less than 0.05, which informs statistical significance to differentiate between left wing and right wing. We note that news media from both right wing and left wing are similar to each other in this category, and both employ competitively more words of analytical thinking than those news agencies representing the neutral stand. This table refers to the variables concerning the percentage of total words on the profiles of political sentiment within the extracted tweets. The absolute z-values of said, focus past, work are statistically significant to differentiate between left-wing and right-wing sentiment. That is, the absolute z-values are greater than 1.96. P-values are less than 0.05. Our spider graph for this category indicates that all three news media agencies express equally about the present events and news. We were able to identify that affective process does not lend statistical significance in differentiating the tweets of the left wing from those of the right wing news media. But language action cues, including cognitive loads such as cognitive processes, cause, discrepancy, and differentiation, analytical thinking, such as article, verb, and profiles of political sentiment, such as said, focus past, and work, of tweets do lend statistical significance and were a better way of differentiating between the political opinions of news media. Previous spider web charts, diagrams, showed similar patterns among left-wing, right-wing, and neutral, with subtle differences among the three news media categories not being observable. It comes as no real surprise that when news media agencies of either right-wing or left-wing express opinions, this may influence viewers. Identifying polarized political opinions and perspectives in otherwise objective news reporting has statistical significance, especially regarding cognitive loads, analytical thinking, and the profiles of political sentiment. We were able to computationally differentiate between political opinions of the news media studies based on language used in tweets. Although some variables were found to be statistically significant, overall language patterns emanating from the right wing, central, and the left wing are somewhat similar. Both right wing and the left wing news media tend to use more extreme writing styles than central news media agencies, which lends itself to polarization of the populace. To reduce polarization, our research suggests that news media of the left wing and the right wing should employ more neutral writing styles, and a return to the practice of presenting objective news without opinion would reduce political polarization over time. The current research results can be considered as an initial study for constructing a prediction model to process and analyze political opinions as reflected in the general populace. In the future, we may try to predict the sides, whether left or right, is more popular as reflected in the results of the 2020 US presidential election. We would like to acknowledge Florida Center for Cybersecurity Capacity Building grants. Thank you.